जी सर स्टार्ट।
Okay, today as we did the payroll, we already started the payroll session from our uh, yesterday's session, and we discuss about the how to create the payroll and what are the payroll types and what are the consolidation set whenever the business group BG is created, consolidation set basically created automatically. We can create other consolidation sets, but most of the time it's we mostly use whichever the uh, mm, BG based on the business group, whatever the consolidation set created, we use the same. Uh, and now today we are going to create the payment method. We will discuss about the payment method because payment method were already created based on the business. Based on this legislation, they already created. But we are basically going to guide you how you can create a payment method. And once we will create a new payment method, we how we are going to attach that payment method with the employee. So our today lecture will be based on payment method. Let us search the existing one and let me show you that the whole idea. So as per in all organization, in all business group, we have three types of payment method. One is called cash, one is called check, and the third one is called is direct deposit. So the cash as a name, with the name of the cash, you can see we are paying, and for few employees we want to pay the salary on cash, and it is based on scenario. For example, when a new employee hired, okay, sometimes it's hired on, for example, 15th of any month, and the payroll runs on 20th. Okay, so in 15th of any month, any employee hired before the payroll, 4 5 days before the payroll. So in this these kind of type in these days, 5 to 6 days, the person employee is unable to create his bank account or something like that. If the person already have his bank account, for example, then he can give his bank detail to the HR, and HR can enter into the payment method, and then that payment method will be attached into the employee. But for example, for few employees, this kind of case happened that because in few organizations they want to create the bank account based on the company's account bank account, because every company have their own bank accounts. Every company has. Okay, so company said, okay, all the employees must to create their account into that bank. Okay, so based on that, definitely it required a week or 10 days period to create the account. And in that time, basically we can pay the employee as a cash. uh, HR is not going to pay through cash. Once the process will run, finance will handle this thing by the report and by the all other things. So we can run the different processes, and we can do. No, now you can see it's a cash, and the currency is AED. So currency can be changed based on the legislation. Okay, so it will be any currency based on the companies, you can say the implementation you are going to do. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so we can select that currency type. We have source bank tab, we have costing that is not enabled, we have general ledger tab, we have cash management, and we have other. So this kind of different tabs have different functionalities. As you saw, as you right now you are looking into the source bank tab, and in this source bank tab we are mentioning that this uh, payment method, because we are in the UE legislation application, so we have to definitely select the country. We will select the bank details, and these bank details will be captured into few of the you can say the bank detail key flex fields. So there here basically another key flex field is going to use, which I will go into the key flex field and I will show you there. But you can get an idea when we are going to create the payment method, we have to use the bank key flex field as well. Okay. So for example, this 4 or 5 fields opened into that basically key flex field, and based on that, whatever the bank branch is there, you can see here, this is the bank name on the top, and based on the bank, Central Bank of the UAE, we have different branches in a different states like Al Ain, Dubai, Fujairah, all these are the states of UAE, and based on those branch, you have now the company account name is there, and company account number is going to be, this is basically company account number, which is basically attached to the payment method. Okay, so this I once I will close the screen, I will go to into the bank payment bank detail key flex field, and you will see that in the system administrator. General ledger, in general ledger, basically this is the part of again the financial side. But whenever, for example, financial people create the general ledger, and you know, as we discussed before, that when the company financials consultants basically do the setup in the financials application, they create the ledger, they create the chart of account, they create different things over there. Huh? So based on that, whatever ledger they create, basically they create the ledger as well. So once they create the ledger, we can select here if we want to hit this whole process into the general ledger. That is one thing, because we are running the general ledger process. Once we do the payroll, reconcile it, we run the prepayment method, we reconcile it. After that, we do the costing process, and then we are running the general transfer to GL process. So based on that, it required, but it only required when we are transferring all the amount and all the payments into the general ledger. In the cash payment method, it is not required most of the time, because as you know now, based on the automation, we always do the transfer, we always do the direct deposit, and direct deposit has the functionality to do the transfer into the banks. So based on that, now we are in the type of cash, that's why they are not selecting ledger for cash. Okay, but hopefully once we will go into check or in direct deposit, maybe you will see the ledger over there as well. Yes, sir. The cash management is basically a cash management module in financials. So, and it is also linked with the SLA, which is basically the sub ledger counting. This is one of the functionality in financials. One is the ledger, and second is the sub ledger counting. So based on that, what happened most in few organizations, what they do, once they do the payroll run, they want to transfer that whole amount and cost into cash management module, basically. So that is also the part of financials people, but we check with them that what are their cash management account where they want to hit that process. That is also an automation process which required some technical tasks to develop, but we can do it through setting over here as well. Means if that process need to be done, once we run the payroll, we run the transfer to we run the prepayment, we run the costing, and before running the transfer to GL, we will run one more process which will be the sub ledger accounting as well. So based on that, it will hit to the account which we mentioned here in the cash management. And then in the cash management module, the people of finance can see all that values over there. So that is another thing. Other tab is related to some other information. If some extra information is required, okay. So the further payment method is basically a DFF again. So that is one of that field. If any extra information required or something like that, so then we can utilize it. But so far it is based on the information. And the second thing, we can also go through with the help, and we can go through with these different terminologies. See, defining a payment method. So every screen have an help, and based on an help, you can get and more detail about this. As you see here, bank account in Oracle Payroll is the same bank account that Oracle Cash Management uses to clear your payments. Okay, so that is basically the cash management module. Handling costing for the payment method. For example, you can specify whether to transfer the cost to GL, the general ledger one. Okay, so this is basically the same thing which you can go through by yourself, and you can see here the check, all these types, account name and bank detail. Navigate to the source of bank tab. So the bank tab is basically this one. This is basically source bank, and we will click on the bank tab. So we will go there into the key FF where we can see third party checkbox is if we want to transfer that payment to the third party. For example, let us see, here will be some information about that, so we can discuss about. See, enter a name for the payment method, select the payment method type, number one. Two, field. For a third party payment method, always select the type check or check. Okay, if we have a check, then we have to select the third party if there is any. The default currency for your business group appears automatically. So that is one of that functionality Oracle gives, that if we want to get the payment for the third party or want to do process in any other thing. So here in the point 4 also, if your payment method controls payments to the third party, such as a benefit carrier or a garnishment receiver. Garnishment is one of the you can say is a benefit, something like that, or something. We can search on it on Google, and we will check and check their third party payment box. So if there are any, these payment method are basically want to transfer through third party payment method, then we want to check this checks. Otherwise, we are not going to. So this is one of the type, you can say, is a cache. I just click on the down arrow key because it's we did some change somewhere. That's why it's asked to save it. I don't want to save it, so I close it, and so now I just click on down arrow key, and you can see we are now in the check payment. They didn't create a direct deposit. So means direct deposit is a third payment method which okay, we will create it. Let us see the check detail. So this is the same bank information. Okay, the same bank information in the general ledger. They didn't attach any ledger over here. They didn't attach. They don't want to do any cash management. So in the payment method, basically these are the three types which we want to create it. For example, they created the check and cash on, you can say, 1st Jan 1990. So we will also do the same thing, because this is again, this is basically a setup information. So I already informed you last time, whenever we are creating any setup information, we have to go as much back in the past as we can. So let us create direct deposit. Okay, let us see the type. What will the type comes here? Here you can see a direct deposit, AED. So this is one of the direct deposit. Let me check any other. This is see based on the legislation you can see as well. You see, so these are the direct deposits. The third term type of the payment method which you can see. So let us select okay the A one. Okay, so here you also can see the check one and based on the legislation country wise. So let us check this one. AD. Let me select the same bank name which they already have. I will show you how we can add more banks. Okay, but so far let us select the same one. Account name, let us give the same, you can say UE Vision, something like that. Okay, and based on that vision, okay, account number I can give anything right now. Okay. In UE level, even in Pakistan as well, the IBAN number is now very important because now what's going on, most of the banks, they use the IBAN number. Why? Because branch have a code as well, account number has a code as well. Okay, and the bank name also have code. So most of the time what happens, the whole means first 3 digit will be bank name, 2 digit will be or 3 digit will be the branch name, and the rest of the account number. So the whole 14 digit, almost 14 digit, or I think 16 digit code will be that. And based on that, automatically once you do have that code for or any employee, you can do direct transfer into that uh, account automatically. You don't have to add branch name, bank name, account name, IBAN number. Khalas, you will get everything automatically. So this is one of the method which create. Let us create, save this record. Okay. Okay, please enter the required value of for the employee code segment in the further. Here it is basically saying in the further is basically here other. See, because now we are creating the payment method as a direct. So here it's asked because they make this field basically a mandate. Okay, so that's why we are going to do going to add a me employer, and that employer code is basically can be created at a business group level. Okay, so that is a field which the code basically you can get from the from you can say from the financial side. They the people the consultants can give us that information. So let us enter this information whatever it is, and now let me save this record, and based on that our transaction is created and saved. So these are basically standardly 3 types payment methods basically, and even the types are also same. Okay, you can see here cash is the type, cash is the name, check is the type, check is the name. Okay, and based on that we now what we will do, we will go to the employee record, and there we can see that how we are going to enter the payment method for any individual employee. So let us come to the date of, for example, and the try to enter these payment method on the first day of the month. That is also very important. Okay. Until unless it depends when the employee hired. You have to be focused that we are doing the setup. So based on the setup, everything will be the setup point of view. All the setup screens need to be created and things need to be the past dates, and the employee hire or all the employee upload will need to be some date need to be set, and based on that we have to do different kind of things. So let us select the employee 70, okay, Sadoon, and let us go into the assignment. And in the assignment screen, we have to basically go into the others button. And here we will see that this person have and already have any payment method or not. So now you can see in the enter and maintain screen, in others button, there are different functionalities. These are also different screens. These all are different screens. Keep it in mind. Okay. And in assignment screen, we have other button as well, and we have different screen as well. So adjust balance, all have a different functionalities, and we will go through in a later stage. So rest, currently I want to enter the payment method. For example, this is basically the pay method function and the screen. Once I click on it, I want to see that is there any payment method is already attached or not. For this employee, there is no payment method attached. Okay. So now what we will do, we will select here the payment method. And once I click on this payment method, you can see that cash and check payment method created. Okay, we created that payment method on that second. Let us check why that direct deposit is not coming here. We will go check and see it as well, because I think it is changed with the name of C. If we see here, why it is searching with C. Because something is different. Okay, because there is, I think the person, I think he did some personalization or something. Because once we are clicking it, now it is coming only C. Yes. So in the search criteria, you can see that is C is coming and only the C. See, only C. Why it is by default coming C? Okay, we will go through it in a later stage. So anyhow, that direct deposit and cash and check will come automatically here. Right now, that person, I don't know why we have to check on this. So right direct. Why it is doing like this? Huh? Right direct report. Deposit. Direct. Yes. Direct deposit. Let us see that it will come or not. Oh. It is not coming. Something you have to check on this. No, see, it is just automatically opens. Anyhow, for example, we will select this check. Okay. So check, once we select this check name, okay, based on this check name, we have some priorities. Now the priorities will be always, priority will be 1. Okay. So if we will enter 1 or we will enter 100, for example, there is not going to be affect anything, because this is basically the priority on this payment method. There is another thing that, for example, one employee want to get his salary, for example, 60% into his bank, okay, and 40% into a different bank, you can say, or as cash, okay, or in any other saving accounts, something like that. So what we can do, we create the one pay method on a priority 100, and based on the percentage, we will select 60. So what will happen? This amount will be go into the employees, or the check will be created as for the employee
60%
of from his base, from his salary as a 60%. Okay, so that is all one scenario which you can handle through the by creating a two payment methods. Okay, and from here we can handle it by, like, for example, we want to pay 60% as a check, and the 60%, for example, into the bank, and 40% into as a check or something like that. So we can handle that kind of thing. If for most of the time these kind of cases are very rare. So now what we have to do, we have to write down here percentage 100% must. Yes.
Sir, if we pay 40% in other type of payment, then what will be the priority? What we write in priority?
The priority will be 100. Priority will always be 100, because this check, see, this payment method I created as a priority 100. Okay. Here it is saying priority out of range. The priority is here will be 1.
Okay.
Sorry. So priority here will be 1, and the second one will be 2.
Okay.
The second payment method which we create, for example, now I created this payment method with the check, and the priority will have 1. So what will happen in the payroll once the prepayment process will run? First, this payment will run, and I now just click down arrow key. So I want to select here cash. So I write down here 2. Okay. I will not write down here 1. If I will write down here 1, it will give me again that it is already there. That priority is already been set. So what we can do here, let us change this percentage as well. Let us make it 100%. Record has been updated. Okay. Okay. Fine. This is sometimes the error comes because we just change one query to another query, and that's why it's give this error. So there is no such kind of issue. You can come back and close the screen, and you can change this scenario. See now here, update and correction.
Yes.
Okay. So now what is it is saying? It is asking. I think I already described you about the update and correction. So update, if I will click update, it will not update because we are already on 1st April, and it is already been. So it automatically be go into correction mode. But if I will go, I was in 10th April, then I want to create an update. Based on that update, it will create new record, new row. So right now, because we want to change only, because this is again on the scenario, because we want to do correction, as you see. We don't want to make one record on 100% and one record on 80% on the same check. You get my point?
Yes.
We want to do the correction because we are just testing that, okay, make it change to 80%. So that's why is by default will be 80%. So now I just click down arrow key. Let me select the cash one.
2
Make 2
and 20%.
And let me make it 1. So your concept must be more clear. Let me make it 1 and make it 20. Okay. Let us save.
Yes, I will be
with this priority.
Yes.
Priority. Okay. So that's why priority we are going to make it 2.
Okay, sir.
So, then we will click on save. Now the record is saved. So the 2 payment method created based on this scenario, that if in case that employee have 2 payment method, how we. So once we create a payment method, then we have to attach that payment method with all the employees.
Okay.
So this is the second step. Basically, once we create the payroll yesterday, you saw, and we created the, you can say, the payroll, and we attached the payroll with the person. Okay, and then we now created a new payment method, and we attach it with the person. So based on that, it will check, and once the payroll will run, it will check that what will be the payment and what are the basically information where we can enter that information. So now let me do one more step. Let me, because direct, one of the thing we can see now that why that direct deposit is not appear. That now, because based on the direct deposit now, we have to enable the bank information, because we didn't enter any bank information, you see.
Yes,
We
sir.
just entered, because check and cash are those payment methods which is going to be paid as a cash or a check. But direct deposit method is basically that method which we want to attach with the you can say with the employee. And that, let us see why it not uh, created, because here we created and it's showing us different scenario. Let us okay, let us do one thing. Let us delete this. Let me create. Okay. Then we will try. Let me purge it. Purge it, basically we want to remove the record completely. But again, it's all depends on our scenario, because right now we don't need this payment method. Na? So we want to create the payment method if we need it. So based on that, we can do that purge. We can click on purge. For end date, if we will end date it, what will happen? It will end dated on the 1st April, because we were in the 1st April. Let me do create that payment method on 2021. Let us don't go so into backdated. Let us come into January. Direct deposit. Okay, I get it. Why it was not appearing? I get it. Let me show you now. Yeah, okay. So basically, what happened? Why it was not appearing? Because the payment method need to attach with the payroll. I will show you. In yesterday, once we created, I think once you now you will get an idea. For example, this is, let me first create this. Let me select this. Okay. Account number vision. Whatever the account number is. Let me create okay. Go ahead, others. Let me add any code. Let me select this pen code. Okay. Save this. Now we have to come into the payroll. Now I will tell you. You will get an idea. So once I come into that payroll, we have this payroll, we have monthly payroll, and we have another payroll for this employee. Okay, this is the main payroll, for example. So here's what the payment method is attached is check. That is fine. That is fine. They can do that. That is not a big, by default it will show check and cash. Here, valid payment method. Basically, we have to attach here.
Okay. Yes, sir.
See, we have to attach here. Now, once we attach it here, now once we save it, here by default it is showing check. Okay, fine, no problem. There is no issue for us. But here, basically, we have to attach with that payroll. So now this was the only step which we missed. So now once we come here, we will go into that employee again.
78.
For example, let us come on the 1st April. Okay, first APR 221 and click OK, and let's just click 70. Find assignment. You can see we can go through with the different steps. In the fast path, there is a payment method functionality as well. So we can click there, we can come here automatically. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this one was already created before. Let us delete it again. I don't want to make this for us safe. Saved before, why it was showing? Anyhow, close this one, click on others, click pay method. Okay, so now it will be appear. Now it will appear. See?
Okay, sir.
That was the case. That was the case basically because we have to attach it. So now you can see once I click on select on direct deposit, you can see now the bank detail information also open. You see here. So this is the bank information, bank detail, where which we can select that employee bank name, employee bank branch, employee account number, account name, account number, and bank individually. Every employee have their own individual account. So how we can do select, you can say that bank information. Now let us go into the key flex field of the bank detail. Let us come into the system administrator, click on the application, click on the flex field, the key flex field, segments. We have to go into the payroll application. It comes under the payroll, and here you can see.
Bank detail.
This is the people key flex field. Basically, we have to. I think it must be a bank something which they may create it. Let us search. No, they didn't create it with a. Let us check. Bank detail US can be bank detail KF segment. This segment I know this is blank. This is also not freezed. Even see, you can see here, these are not freezed. So whatever the bank key flex field we are searching, it must be freezed, and it must be way bank account, something like that. Let us search here in the description. Maybe we can find here United Arab Emirates, maybe something like that. Is Saudi Arabia. SA is basically a Saudi Arabia. The bank field. See, here is no IBAN number. This is related to Saudi. Let us search with AE here. Maybe search with AE. Yeah. See, we already searched with AE. Anyhow, so this is the validation. So validate account is also there, but you can see here displayed is unchecked. That's why it was not appearing there. So based on this HRAE value set, now you get more grip on those values. So this is the value set, and this value set will be coming from the lookup. Now I will show you. See, this is the HR lookup, and this is the lookup name. Now I will go again into that lookup. So you will get an more, inshallah, complete understanding about that lookup. See, table name HR look, meaning lookup code. See, this is the code from there in the lookup. I will show you there. Where clause lookup type is equal to this lookup, and application ID is 800. As you see on the top, when you even see over here, not here, like most of the application IDs now, it is showing 800, application ID 800 as well. So let me take you there. So this is basically a value set, and in the value set it is lookup, and this is also a lookup. I will give you an idea. Value set, and once we click on it, we click on edit. Based on that, we can add different lookup. See, lookup, and this is branch name. One is the bank name, and one is the branch name. We can let me close this one. So you can see how we came here into the bank key flex field. We can here I think it can be come through not application developer. Come into the SSL, other definition and application utilities lookup, and you will search that lookup type. Remove that code quotation, the commas, and you will see. You see? Here they have entered only one name. So what I will do, we will add one more name. For example, let us add Dubai Islamic Bank. Okay, DIB. So we will add the code, and this is basically the lookup code. Okay, so what we will do, we add that name, and I will show you, it will appear there as well. Dubai Islamic Bank. Islamic is missing. Yeah. So let us create this same on 1st Jan 1999. Save it. Now let me search with the branch. You will see now. A bank name, I will just change it into branch names. BRANCH, remove K. Okay, and branch names. See? Now what I want to do, I want to do the branches based on the their bank name. So what I will do, DIB like Al and same. Okay, I can create this kind of code. AL and okay, like this, and I want to create DIB Al and branch. Okay, something like that. So it's all, you can get an idea how we are going to add the values into the value set, and based on these value set, we can you can say see the information into the system. And now you will see these are the two lookups. Now once I come into that employee record again, now let us add the exact payment method for one of the employee. Let us add for 78, for example. This is the payment method we are going to add. Let us come from that screen For example, I want to come direct to the payment method. I will click fast path and I will search that pay method. Okay. Once you can click here, you can come direct. If we are using frequently, we can use this top 10 list. We don't have to come here as well. So this is the 78 employee number. Fine. And I want to now enter the direct deposit. What happened?
Sir, you entered wrong employee code. 70 was the
No. There is not such kind of issue related 70 or 71 because we are going to add the payment method for all. That is not basically for one employee.
okay, sir.
Okay. Let us come direct from this list and let's see. 2021. Yeah, it must be. Just check. First April 2021, something happened. Okay, let's see. What's the change happens? Anyhow, let's see. Okay. Now let me explain you again. We add those payment types with which payroll. Now you get an idea. Again, this is a new scenario. This is new thing for you. Basically, this is the payroll, but we didn't add the payment method with this payroll.
Yes.
Okay. So what we will do?
Yeah.
So that's why it is only by default coming check. Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me come into 1st March 2021. I don't want to keep this record. I don't want to. Okay. My payroll is not run. Okay. What I want to do, I come into my past date and I want to delete my future record. So this is again a new scenario for you. For example, there is some change or some record created in assignment screen and I want to remove it. So this is the thing. I've come into the past date, but based on again, it's a scenario. For example, if the payroll runs, then you cannot do it. Okay. So based on that, we have to be made sure that when we are doing this change, all change means all the records after 1st March 2021
will be removed.
And we know we have only one record, which we created on 1st April, and we did it attach the payroll. So now I'm removing that payroll record, and I don't want to want to that record into my system. So I want to click on next, remove next change. So I did that. I click save. Okay, my transaction record saved and record. I close the screen. I come on my assignment screen, and that record is gone now. You see,
yes,
that record is gone now. So I don't want to keep it. So that was basically the case, which based on we were unable to find the payment method. Now you will see, because now you will see all those three payments.
Yes, excellent.
So this is different kind of things happens most of the time. So we are going to create 100% here. Now you see the bank name as well. See,
Dubai Islamic, yes,
which we created, and we want to create the Dubai Al-Ain branch. We make it the employee most of the time the same. Employee name is the account name, Abdul Rahman Imam
Tawfiq.
Yeah.
Zaki.
Zaki is the account name, and this will be his account number, and this will maybe his account
Yen.
and IBAN number. Okay, click OK, and based on OK, please enter our OK. Fine. In basically, na, in IBAN for AE, it used AE this with the IBAN must. So let's see. It is yeah. Now it is used for payment method pension. That is another external other information they require. They just created. We are saying no use for payment method pension. Khalas, this is not mandatory, so we will cancel it.
Okay.
Click OK. Click OK. And now because this is created over here, this was the field. By automatically it's appear. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So we click cancel. Now we are going to save this one. This payment method will record transaction one complete, one record applied and save. Halas. So this is basically how we are going to create a payment method, as you see. And you see once we create the payment method, how we are going to attach those three payment method in the payroll as well. Otherwise it will not appear there.
Okay.
By default, the check will appear or the cash will appear based on your you can say the payment method. That is the today's lecture related to the payment method, and we saw the bank key flex field as well. We saw the utility lookups as well. The whole payment method functionality we discussed today, and inshallah we will try to now create different elements tomorrow. Like the basic is already created. I will show you the basic one as well. And rest we also create transportation allowance, housing allowance, mobile allowance. These three more elements we will create, and then we will link them with the payroll. And tomorrow, inshallah, we will run any one of the employee quick pay, and then we will run the whole payroll run. These are the processes we will run, and we will also discuss about the fast formula as well.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है?
Okay, sir.
तो कल फिर हम